All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started.
Maybe not.
In about 30 seconds. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys taking the time to show up today. We have a great speaker. As always, we've got Stephen Thomas going to give us a report on housing market, which is exactly what we need at this time of the year. But before we get into that, how many of you guys have heard about the news about RE/MAX holding, selling? Any questions on any of that?
Is the logo changing?
Everything's changing.
No, it
Not just kidding. Gotcha. No. Nothing is changing at all. As you can imagine, over the last 3 years, the real estate industry has transitioned a little bit. You know, sales have gone down tremendously. As a brokerage, maybe not you as an individual agent, but as a brokerage, it has. Some agents, like yourselves, have been excelling, and others have had a struggled year over the last couple of years. But industry-wise, as far as the brokerages, the mothership, okay, they've been taking a hit. And so because of that, everybody's looking to like ditch and run essentially and sell to somebody else who's the up and coming industry real estate companies. So we've sold to real brokerage. Nothing's going to change. The word on the street is that they're going to be implementing 2 operating systems, back-end operating systems, one that you're currently already working on, the other one's real. So from what I've been told, you will have the option to use either or when that comes out and is rolled out for everybody. But you guys, I'm sure, have also heard that Anywhere has sold. Anywhere is the mothership who owns Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Sotheby's, Corcoran, and a bunch of other, Better Homes and Garden, a bunch of other industries. They've also sold to Compass and basically duck and run, okay? So, so that when you see something as big as they have been, and as long as they've been around to go ahead and sell, that's a strong indicator as to where the market's at. So the fact that you guys are still doing business and still moving forward and pressing hard is impressive. So continue doing your hard work that you're doing. So, so any questions about that at all? Nothing's changing. Brands are not changing, nothing of a sort. So structures are not changing, in case you are aware or wanting to know. Anybody have any wants and needs, open house opportunities? Richard.
Have an open house opportunity in Laguna Hills, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 24,376 large block court. We just overpriced to $720.
Okay, thank you. Sam.
Saturday or Sunday. We're open.
Sam, what you got?
I got a condo in Dana Point for 1.2, completely remodeled, just visited yesterday. I got another one in Tustin, 3,200 square feet for 1.99. Just activated yesterday, available for anytime anyone wants to hold it open. I have one in Irvine, 2 huts in Irvine for 165. Lowered the price $50,000 last week. Started to get more calls. I got another one coming up in Huntington Beach. Probably I'll list it today. And yeah, that's all available Saturday and Sunday.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So as you can imagine, we're at the hot time of the year to be selling and having and representing your clients. So take advantage of it. If you don't have much going on, take opportunities like that with the open houses so that you can pick up some additional clients for yourselves.
One more, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in La Mirada, available for anyone to hold it open. Just listed it 2 days ago, and it's first listing. So
Thank you.
the asking is $999.
You just got that one in between the last talk you just had. See, that's how fast they're growing. Wait another 10 more seconds. He's going to have another one pop up. Gino.
So we got one that just went active today in Laguna Niguel for $2 million. It's a 4.3 at 3,200 square feet, and we'll be holding that one open this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. Up, Gene.
Buyer need if anyone has anything in Long Beach, like the Los Altos, Market States. Their budget's somewhere in the 1.2 to 1.5 range, and we need it kind of quickly. We just put one property in escrow that they're selling, and so they're looking right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else?
Garage has to be in the front.
Okay. So we have upcoming events. We've got June 23rd, which is our next office meeting. We're going to have a person from First American come out to talk to us about AI. So that's a meeting you definitely won't want to miss, especially today. How many of you guys are implementing Chat GPT into your business? Yeah, I'm sure everybody has. So continue doing so, dive deeper, show up to next month's meeting, and utilize all this information in your business. I mean, it's very, very crucial today, especially. I've got a friend of mine who started diving really deep into their website and utilized ChatGPT to how can they improve their SEO. And immediately, as soon as they got done with it, their website activity has picked up tremendously and picked up several leads off of that just within the first couple of days. And I was shocked. So anyways, I'm going to get trained more from that person to show me how I can implement that, and maybe in turn show you guys how you can implement that in your business. So Kevin with First American Home Warranty here representing, Heidi Marshall.
Yeah, Heidi couldn't make it this morning. I do cover your Tiffany office, but she covers the Terrasol side. She just wanted to make sure that we came and let you know about our $75 off for military and first responders. If you're ordering a warranty, it's $75 off any plan that you decide and for them, and you just put in the code HONOR75 on there. Hope you guys enjoyed the food this morning as well. And if you have any warranty questions or need any assistance with home warranty, certainly give me a call.
Yeah.
Or
Thank you for the food, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Lena with My NHD. Anything to say? Bring us up to speed on anything?
Good morning, everyone. Lena with INHD. Just want to let you know about something new that we're doing, and we're setting up an NHD preview page. Anytime you have a listing, we're going to email you an NHD preview, kind of like when you get a pre-loan from title. So we give you, flood, fire, liquefaction, a few other zones, earthquake zones, just so you can take that with you to your listing appointments, or before you make an offer, you have all this information before you enter escrow. So look for that. You can also get it straight from our website by visiting mynhd.com, and you just input a property address and it'll bring it up for you. Or when you get a listing, I get notified and I send it to you. You can click yes or reply yes, and we'll get that for you.
All right, thank you. In July, we'll be doing the beach party again. So be on the lookout for that calendar date. And then we want to do another happy hour event. How many of you guys had a great time at the happy hour that we did in Huntington? That was good. And then we'll also do one for Tiffany. I mean, the one in Huntington will be for both offices, and then we'll do a barbecue for Tiffany, and for those in Huntington, I want to come down for that as well. That'd be great. So, all right, let's get on to our speaker, Stephen Thomas. Let me give him the mic.
Right. And then, bear with me for a second. I need my clicker. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. Of course, fun photos. I always start off with the photos, right? And taking clients who's showing in 2026 when gas hit $7 per gallon. I use this slide up in Vegas and Phoenix, but their gas prices are like $5. Like, come on, that's what we normally pay. That's expensive for them. It's all relative, right? What I imagine when property description says half bath. Or me bathing in the tears of everyone who's been saying the real estate market is going to crash over the last 5 years. So still people are convinced that the house market's going to crash, and it won't. I'll explain why. Clients who won't use electronic signatures. There are some of you that don't know who this family is. That means you're young. That's all that means. This was a television show back in the day called Little House on the Prairie. So, finally, a wine glass made for real estate professionals. Beautiful. This is an MLS photo. But if you look at it hard enough, I've seen this now so many times. There's an iron in the background. You see the ironing board in the background, and then what? Yeah, what's that? Turnkey. Yes. They go to Disneyland a lot, and yeah, there's a leak in the ceiling and needs paint. It's awesome. That is another MLS photo. I like the horse overlooking the bathtub, like looking at you while you're sitting in the bathtub. Bizarre. So this is prior to AI, because now you could probably make this with AI. This would be, make me a bar with a tub in the middle of it. But I've had this for a while. Kind of creepy that this even exists. Why don't you come over to my place for drinks? Or is that where the bartender is? I have no idea. Exactly. I just don't understand it at all. Having a hard time with it. Awesome. Great photo. Seriously. Yeah, I don't understand it. Thanks for getting out of the way. This must have been an important game.
Call of Duty right there.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Can't get up. I'm in the middle. I'm doing really good. Please hire a professional photographer so that your listing doesn't look like it's behind bars when you're showing the golf course view. No, it's probably really tall. I don't understand it. Yeah. So my introduction, you guys know, I'm a KEDS major, Quantitative Economics Decision Sciences from UC San Diego. I've been doing this for decades. Orange County native, Cap Valley High School grad. Yes, 9 kids. There they are. I do have 9 kids. And I brought mine, she brought hers. You guys have seen the slide, but I actually looked at the slide over time. It's pretty fun because they're all getting older. Oh my gosh. And so we adopted each other's kids. We had that kid. That's Zeke. He's now in the 2nd grade. And then Brennan came to work for us 3 years ago this month after graduating from Washington State University. And then that gal's our oldest. She turned 30. I don't know how I can have a 30-year-old, but I'm 30. And she's married, brought us Rowan, and Rowan just keeps on getting cuter. Unbelievable. Yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we? Yeah, she has 4 grandkids right now, and I have 1. And let me tell you, I can't wait. I did the math. I told her, if I have 9 kids and each one has 2, it's 18 grandkids. So now you know why I had so many kids, because that part is fun. I am a rock star when it comes to her. We've been all over the press, and our company's Reports in Housing, your local real estate snapshot. You've seen me before. Who is a subscriber in this room? Lots of hands. That's pretty fantastic. So thank you for subscribing. I'm a housing analyst. I do this. This is all I do. I was San Diego yesterday and Vegas the day before. It's fun flying all over the place and talking about the housing market. The whole genesis of this was back in the 90s, trying to cut through the noise of my clients. I represented buyers and sellers like you, and they said the dumbest things. Why isn't my home sold? Well, I would just show them the statistics and data so they understood what was really going on. And nowadays it's worse because now you have to compete. The volume is way louder of people with all kinds of opinions on the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, saying the dumbest things that have no analytical background and no real perspective. Yet they have like a master's degree in talking about how everything is going to end. And they're like tapping into, especially millennials and Gen Zs, because it's 70% of them think that the market's going to crash. And that's because we all have heard about the Great Recession. They might not be old enough to remember how bad it was, but only happens about once a lifetime. Great Depression, Great Recession. We caused both calamities. We're not causing a calamity right now. It's not going to happen. So I'm not about pushing narratives. I'm not a perma bear. I'm not a perma bull. I want to tell it like it is, bring data, facts, and stats so people can make really good adult decisions. So that's my guiding light. That's our guiding light at Reports in Housing. And then another thing, I don't like politics. I'll talk about how politics bleeds into our numbers and what it does, because it absolutely has, as we know this year. And so that's one of the main reasons why I don't like politics, because it starts ruining my data every once in a while, and then I get upset because we were in a really good spot right leading up to spring, and we all know what that's all about. So there's power and strength to data. This is just another way of leveraging your a report like this for your business. It's investing in your business. It will make a difference. I've heard it from all kinds of agents from different walks of life. And we don't focus that much on closed sales data. I do have a report that we do called NetLess. We'll get into that, but I don't really focus on closed sales that often. And the reason for that is because I don't like to talk about what's going on in the past. I like to talk about what's going on right now and right now and into the future, and it's supply and demand. Supply, available number of homes to show your buyers today. Demand, a snapshot of pending sales activity. From supply and demand, I came up with something called expected market time in the 1990s so that I could properly talk about how fast the market was moving, because days on market was a horrible statistic, so I had to come up with my own. And I didn't like National Association of Realtors back in the time talked about an absorption rate. Who can even follow what expected market time is? Place your home on the market when you're opening up escrow. That's what I want to tell my clients, not an absorption rate. It would go over their heads. And that is based upon closed sales data. That won't tell you enough about what's going on right now today. There's changes in pending sales, escrows, as well as in the number of available homes based upon the time of the year, what's going on with rates, what's going on with different things. So that will impact the speed of the market. And it's the true speed of the market. So this is the expected market time and over time. And in Orange County, I have the luxury of going all the way back to 2004. Before I just spliced it and diced it for clients, I was down in South County, so if it was in Rancho Santa Margarita or Coto de Caza or wherever I was able to talk about what the true speed was. And you could see that during the Great Recession, we hit almost 500-day expected market time. It was shooting way up. And that's because a flood of homes were coming on the market and they weren't selling. Demand plummeted. And the days on market at the time, average days on market was 90. You did not want to tell anybody 90 days, 3 months, you're going to be in escrow, because that would have been a disaster. That's not what was going on in the marketplace. So it didn't accurately depict what was going on. And then when there's two screens, I have to point to one of them. Over here, this is 2012. And 2012 was that year when the expected market time dropped like a rock, but yet days of market still was at 90, average days of market. So it didn't properly capture how great it was in 2012. Prior to everybody coming on board, a lot of investors understood that it was a great time because things were actually cash flowing in Orange County, cash flow positive. So it got really nutty. And then it was following average days on market and expected market time was following each other all the way until we got to COVID. And then COVID, once again, it dropped below the average days on market. You could see it over here, that once again, it didn't properly capture how speedy the market was, days on market. So that was when you guys were writing the dumbest offers. You guys were writing offers 75 grand above the asking price. You were bragging about it. I went $100,000 above the asking price. That's unhealthy. It gave me nightmares. I didn't like that kind of a market. We should never have a market like that. That is the definition of don't be stupid. And on the very right-hand side is where we're at right now. Expected market time is higher than days on market, which means that days on market's telling everybody artificially again that the market's better than it really is. So that's why I did that. Now, days on market is very important on each individual property. Closed sales days on market is way artificially low. You do not want to even talk about average or medians of all of them put together. Each property is a different story. You want the story on each property, but you do not want to take average and medians of the whole entire thing. And they should not expect their homes to sell in 9 days unless they properly prepare to come on the market in the right way. And, and we know what that takes. And then, so our reports are used for buyer-seller consultations to get those price reductions, to get buyers off the fence. Stop talking about timing this market. Nobody can time a market, because if you did time the market, you would have bought back in February when rates were at 5.99%, not right now. So stop timing the market. It's nearly impossible. And then it's just about closing more transactions by properly setting expectations. I'm in the expectation setting business, as are you, so I'm just trying to help out all of you set expectations. And we have reports that dot all over SoCal, the Bay Area, Phoenix, and Vegas. And so what do you do with the reports? Just, well, if you don't know, if you can't even email, at least print it out and get it to every buyer or seller. And have it at your open houses, farm with it, utilize it within your sphere of influence marketing. It's super important to get it out to everybody because they will eat it up. Everybody wants to know what's going on in the housing market, even if they're not even inclined to sell or do anything over the next like 10 years. They still want to know what's going on with their house. It's kind of like looking at their portfolio. They want to know what's going on with their portfolio. So they want to know what's going on with their house because they hear all these different things about crashes and things like that. And we try to bring the absolute truth. So I'll send you guys a copy of this presentation. You guys have been here before. Who's never seen me in this room? Anybody? So there you go. So yeah, thank you. I will talk to you then. So I talk really fast. So we'll get you a copy of this. That's not the way our reports read. Our reports, we focus on one thing at a time. There's a bunch of links at the bottom. You can just send out just the main section and leave out all the rest. It's like usually 1.5 to 2 pages long with big charts like this. So these are some of the reports so far, slow out of the gate. It was very slow at the beginning of the year. A lot of homes that pulled their homes off the market during the holidays came on in the first 2 weeks. And then we're wondering why the market was so slow. I actually had phone calls from agents saying, what is going on in the market? I said, well, why did you come on the market in the middle of the holidays still? It's the end of the holidays. The holiday market goes from the middle of November to the middle of January. There's still New Year's resolutions, putting away boxes, going to the gym, getting fit, and before you're going to go buy a house. Then the third week comes along. You don't want to wait for a treadmill any longer, and then you go buy a house. It happens every year. That's just how it works. The only time that it doesn't happen and we get really hot was like in 2022 when there's nothing on the market, that type of thing. But when there's a whole bunch of homes on the market to pick from, just wait till the third week of January, wait till February to come on the market. So prepare for launch. That's just talking about the winter market. You guys, we get to Super Bowl and everybody's super excited. That's still winter. It's not really the #1 time for homes to sell, but we get this big giant surge in demand and nothing's coming on the market. So the market heats up really fast. And then seller's blueprint. This is just trying to describe to sellers what's a good time to come on the market. Just talk about the different seasonalities of the whole thing and how to rely on the data and pricing as well. I've really honed in on pricing. Pricing is so important. I think that sellers need to hear this like over and over and over again. Buying conditions improve. So at the end of February, everything looked really good as far as the market. We had really low rates and the lower ranges. Actually, we had more homes on the market than the prior year. So it was that's where we need it, the entry level. And then I had to write this one called Global Influences on Housing because the Iran conflict definitely impacted us, and we knew it would. And until it finished, it continue to affect us, and it hasn't finished yet. We're not out of there, so it's still an issue. Precision pricing. This is the one that I've talked to you guys about, where you net less if you reduce the asking price, and the more you reduce the asking price, the more you net less. It's like a really simple thing. You get one shot at a first impression. That's it. When you reduce the asking price, they've already seen it on their phone. So even if they haven't gone there, they still feel like they've seen it. So they go, well, what's wrong? Why didn't it sell? What's going on? So there's a lot that goes on. You didn't take care of I can't wait for the next home to come on the market, and your property is it. And that's how we have to describe it to our sellers, that we have to take advantage of that overwhelming, I can't wait for that next property to come on, and then they look at everything. All the virtual tour, everything that you prepared for prior to coming onto the market. So one market, spectrum of speeds, the difference between attached and detached and all the different price ranges. You can't expect every property to behave the same way or from city to city as well. And the most recent one that came out is called Showcase Homes. I wanted to call it Wow Properties. My wife said, that's a dumb name, Wow Properties. And I said, that's a great name. I love saying Wow Properties. So I went to my computer and said, AI, and asked AI, what do you think of Wow Properties? And it said, that's a dumb name. I told my wife what I did, and she goes, you didn't believe me? You needed AI to reinforce that that's a dumb name? So Showcase Homes is what my wife came up with. So, and it was way better than Wow Factor. And this is really what it's about is Showcase Homes don't come instantly on the market. They don't just place their home on the market and boom, it sells instantly. They did a lot of preparation to get there. And I used the anecdote of Sydney McLaughlin. Remember, you know who she is? She runs the 400-meter hurdles and has the world record in it. She didn't just step on a track and get that. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of preparation that goes into that, and that's how sellers need to prepare to come on the market. That's what this was about. So if you actually sign up today and you're not a subscriber, you get that one, and we'd send it to you, and then you'll get another one that's coming up Tuesday because Monday is a holiday. So I'm a nut. I've already listened to many different things that have to do with housing so far this morning. I cannot get enough of it. So it's a lot of fun. It's my junk food of choice. And we have an economic model we follow. It's very complicated. Looks like this. We just don't follow like one thing. We follow so much. It's fun to do. So people are saying, so what's the impact of consumer debt and all that stuff? We do follow consumer debt and everything because it all bleeds into housing. So we follow just about everything, and it's a progression model that because everything is constantly changing. It's changing today than what happened yesterday, and I'll explain what that is in a second. So let's get into this mortgage rate update. I always have to start off with this. I like to start off with housing, but I have to start off with mortgages because it's so important. It's like the gas pedal of our market. The lower rates go, the more you put on the gas. When rates start to ease, the more that we are tapping on the brakes and we're slowing down the speed. So, and then I have to do these educational moments. Everybody recognize who this is, where this is, who this is exactly? This is the Federal Reserve building. This is it. So unfortunately, I have to talk to you guys about the Federal Reserve because everybody in this room has heard a lot about the Federal Reserve, and now I need to educate everybody on how the Federal Reserve really works so that you go back feeling empowered to talk to your client when they say the same dumb things that you've heard everybody else say. So now you will be empowered because there are 19 members of the Federal Reserve, not one. Jerome Powell being fired doesn't mean all of a sudden we're going to have rates in the fours. That's not how it works. He is not saying, I'm keeping rates up high. That's not how it works at all. There are 19 members. He's just the one that holds the gavel to try to keep the meeting going when you have that many opinions. And Andy gets to read the text of the speech that they put together, which, by the way, this last one, there was a lot of dissenting on this speech because they wanted to pull out any inkling of a rate cut this year. And then the only thing that he gets to do that's different than everybody else, the chair, they get to do the Q&A after reading the speech with the press. And that's where it's a disaster anyways, because every time they talk, they say the dumbest things. Can't wait to hear the next one. We get a new one this coming up June, so it'll be fun. I listen to all of them, even if they're super boring. I'm pretty sure the new one, that's Kevin Warsh. He's in the middle, like wash your hands. He is now the, matter of fact, I think he actually gets installed by the president. He gets knighted tomorrow. And so then he is officially, he's already been nominated by the Senate, and then he's been ratified to be the next chair, and now he needs the president to do a ceremony, and then now he's going to be the chair. That's how it works. Now, how it really works is, you see those 7 at the top, those are the Board of Governors. There are 7 of them. They're all installed by a president of the United States, and they run a long term of many years. And so these guys have been, and they're a bunch of just nerdy people, just so you understand. And Kevin Warsh, actually, if you go back 2 years ago, listen to anything he said 2 years ago, and it's all about raising rates and inflation and all that stuff. He's changed his tune completely, a 180. And it's like, who are you? because it doesn't make a lot of sense to us economists because we've been following this for a long time. You guys haven't. We do. We listen to these knuckleheads all the time because they're all saying the most ridiculous things all the time that contradict each other and stuff like that. It's like, well, that's not really what's happening out there. It's like they don't have a grip. Some of them do. So I have some of the players that we do like, but those are the 9 up at the top. They get a vote all the time. Now there are 12 other members. Where do they come from? The 12 other members are regional presidents, and they are installed by a board of directors. Nothing to do with the president of the United States. A board of directors. So and we're in region 12, and we're a big region that is now holds a lot of the population of the United States. Yet we only vote once every 3 years. New York votes every year. These are the ones that are voting currently right now. And I put, so he gets to vote every year, and the reason he does is because he's plugged into the financial markets. Cleveland and Chicago, they get a vote every other year. So they just switch off every other year. Now, the reason that those are so important is because it made sense 110 years ago when they put this thing together. Now it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It should be California, the western region, that should be the every other. It should not be any longer Cleveland. So, but you can see these are the different regions. They rotate. These are now our gal is right here. She's not currently voting, but she does have a big opinion. I hear her all the time. There are 5 at the bottom. So 7 at the top, 5 at the bottom. That makes the 12 that vote. In order for rates to be cut, how many have to vote for rates to be cut in their meetings? They meet 8 times. How many out of the 12? Correct. 7. Not 1. Not Jerome Powell. Not Kevin Warsh that's now in there. He can't say rates are coming down because I said so. That's just not how it works. So now you see, we're not going to get rates down in the 4s because right now they're talking about the different. They're actually, there's more pressure on rates to go up. Wall Street has already pushed rates to where our mortgage rates go where the Fed needs to go, and they're kind of high right now. They're pricing in rate increases currently right now, not rate cuts, and that's because they're very, very data dependent. And they have a dual mandate. Number 1 is job stability. Number 2 is price stability. That's it. That's all. People said another one is they have to have low interest rates is a mandate. No, it's not. You take care of these 2, we get them. Right now, we have an issue, and it's more on the right side with inflation, because the jobs has since stabilized. Even though it was looking a little dicey, it will look dicey again. It's always the second half of the year when they say everything's looking good, and then we get to about July and they go, maybe not so good, and then we go later on the year and now things really get dicey. It's kind of how labor works every year. But the last couple of months have been about 115, and over there it was a little bit higher, except for, do you see this big red line down here? That was February. That one came out, and oh my gosh, it was such a bust. It was negative 92,000, and it's since been revised to over 100,000 jobs lost. And no one knew about this report. Do you know why? Because it came 1 week after the Iran conflict started. Had the Iran conflict not started, we would have had interest rates in the 5s, 5.85% to be exact, right around there. And that is, what do you think that would have done to our spring market? Because that would have been the beginning of our spring. So we got that the first week into March, and oh my gosh, can you guys imagine? We would have been speeding on the 5. It would have been like, it's not as awesome as COVID was. I shouldn't say awesome. As lame as COVID was, where you're writing stupid offers. But you guys would have been complaining about the entry-level price ranges, not enough homes on the market, because we're in the 5s. Millennials and Gen Zs have been waiting for the 5s for a while, and they're continue to wait. Now you can see what's happened to jobs. Jobs has been going down, deteriorating over the last couple months, not so much, but it will continue to, it's making its way down towards 0. And unemployment has been rising. Now, 4.3 looks ominous. It's not. 5 is ominous. The reason this has been going up is because down here, this was the lowest rate in over 51 years. So that's kind of, it was a low that we're not used to seeing. 5% is a problem. Anything in the 4s is fine, but you can see the direction of it has kind of been going up, but recently has gone down a little bit, and now it's kind of sideways because we were making our way towards 5. And now we're going to talk about this. Iran, and I've been corrected. I used to say Iran, and then a lot of people were mad at me for how I said it. I apologize for my ignorance. It's Iran, is what I've been told to say. But we all got a little bit of a geography lesson, didn't we? Besides a speech lesson. Everybody now knows where this country is located, and everybody knows what strait this is. Everybody knows how wide it is. Not very wide. 21 miles is not very wide, right? It's kind of very, very narrow, and it's causing a lot of issues and is currently totally closed down. And as a result of it being closed down, which United Kingdom relies almost entirely on this region, so United Kingdom is actually going to have problems with food, and there's going to be food problems the longer this goes on. This is a major worldwide disaster the more that you read the tea leaves. And then we have this. I show this to other areas like Vegas, and then they feel good about their $5 per gallon, because this is what we get a look at every once in a while. I mean, we drive around. We go to Costco. I mean, $5.80 at Costco. That's pretty good, right? $5.80. I got that the other day for my GMC Yukon XL gas guzzler. Still was like $160, but would have been $180. But $160, I feel like I'm winning there. So I do not want to see this, but this could happen as the rest of the country gets towards 5. And this was CPI, which came out a week ago, about a week and a half ago now at this point. This is CPI. You could see what's going on with headline inflation. It's going up, but so is core. Core is where you strip out the volatility of food and fuel, which food right now is having an issue too because of fertilizer and a number of other things. It's going to be more and more an issue the longer this thing goes on. And then core is we're starting to see it in other things. Like I travel, I book trips on, not trips, but day trips. I go out to Vegas, I come back. It is getting to the point where it's nearing to doubling going to Vegas and back. So that's an issue for me. That's inflationary. And it's also trucking and all that stuff. When they've got to fill up, I feel bad for my Uber unless they have some sort of an electric car, which there's a lot of those right now that I'm getting into recently. A lot more Ubers that are electric. Why? Because the other ones are staying at home and they're not doing their gig economy when they have to pump up gas that's $5 a gallon over there, but they should try to make a living here. So that's an issue. And we were knocking on the door of, like I said, 5%. We were so darn close. And you could see where it is because the week before we were down here. And we made our way down there. It took slowly but surely, we made our way down from 7% in April and May of last year. Slowly but surely made our way down to 6%. And it was right. And then we were going to make our way down into the 5s. And instead, Iran conflict started. This is where it should have gone down over here. Instead, it went straight up and then straight up. And then you could see what this is. Now, why this goes up and down is because we keep on hearing about a resolution to the Iran conflict thing. And the latest thing, I don't know if you saw what happened today, because yesterday, we're so close to putting a deal together. If I keep on hearing this, I'm going to punch myself in the face. I cannot hear it anymore. I'm so tired of listening to it. I can't even. I only go once a day and listen to that stuff. I got to listen to all the business stuff and all that stuff. I can't listen to it because it is really today. That was yesterday. We were so close. Today, the Iran government said that we want to keep the uranium here on our soil. We want to keep it here. We're not getting rid of it. That was what they said this morning. So guess what happened to the stock market? Not good. Guess what happened to 10-year treasuries? Not good. I watch 10-year treasuries because 10-year treasuries follows what we do. Today, as of this morning, we're at it should say 6.68. It's going to go back up to 6.75% today. I'll tell you what it really is in a second. So this is the spread. I'm going to give you a real quick education on the spread. Gave you an education on the Fed. I'm giving you education on the spread. The reason is because this spread has been very important as to where rates are today, and they're way better than where they've been in the past because the spread got better. The spread is the difference between the top red line, that's interest rates, Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey, which comes out every Thursday, came out today, every Thursday since 1971. And it's about 1 point. And then the blue is our 10-year treasuries over time. So I look at them both since 1971, and there's this love affair. They kind of jive together, and the average spread is 1.76 going back to 1971. It's very, very reliable. Sometimes the spread gets really big. Sometimes it narrows and actually gets a little bit better than even 1.76. I'm showing you, excuse me, in 2019 when it was 1.76. And you can actually see over here, this is COVID. The spread got really big because a lot of people went into forbearance. And so they were worried about not making money with a whole bunch of people going to forbearance. They charged more. And that's just what they do when things get a little different. Happened over here too. What happened there? 11 consecutive raises in the short-term federal funds rate, going from a 0 floor to 5.5. They were at 0. People don't know what that's like, but that's like putting the gas pedal a little bit. It helps the gas pedal a lot when you're at 0. It makes easy money out there. So they ended that completely because of inflation, and now they went up to 5.5. But look at the spread. It got really big. How come it got way bigger? How come rates were way higher than they should have been? Because we were all saying, date the rate, marry the house. Remember that? Date the rate, marry the house. And they believed it. Everybody believed it. They thought we were going to get to rates in the 5s in 2023. Remember? Everybody was saying it. You were telling your clients, don't worry, you can refinance. Date the rate, marry this house. And guess how long it's been since the last time we were in the 5s? 45 months ago. It'll be 48, 4 years this coming up August, that we last time had rates in the 5s. So when the spread gets really big, they have to hold onto the loan for 2 years to make a profit. Well, if you're going to be refinancing in 6 months, which is what we were telling people in 2023, they're going, I can't make money, so I'm just going to charge way more. So they charge way more on a monthly basis, and you make up the difference of having to hold it for 2 years. You make up the difference fast because they charge way more. The spread was ridiculous in 2023. Spread today is way better, and I'll show you what that is. This is 2023, ridiculous spread. And this is 1.76. This is how far above it was. It's supposed to be 1.76. We got all the way up to 3.1. That was big, giant. It was almost double what it normally is. So we had a way higher rate. That's when we got up to 8% rates. Then 2024, spread got better. 2025, spread got even better. I had people going, spread will never get better. I go, liars. Economic is boring. It's slow. I enjoy it. It will go back to normal. And it did. See, we're over here. We're not quite underneath 1.76. We were making our way there. And then this right here at the end, this was Iran right here. This is Iran. So, this is where we are right now. Spread's very, very close to being normal. It's at like 1.9 right now. It should be 1.76. So right now, I said 6.75. We're really at 6.67% as of this morning. It's probably going to bounce back up to 6.75 because now they want to continue to make nuclear weapons in Iran. And so 6.67% is where we were as of this morning. If we had the same spread as last year, we'd be at 7.1%. So you guys see, we have a better rate today. And nothing happened. You didn't even know why we have rates that got all the way down to 6. It's because the spread got so good. As far as investments were concerned, it didn't really change that much. 10-year Treasury has not really changed that much year over year. Matter of fact, the 10-year Treasury right now is at its worst level since January of last year. And yet we have way better rates than where we were last year at this time because the spread got better. And if we had the spread of 2 years ago, we'd be at 7.38%. If we had the spread of 2023, remember that's when we were really saying date the rate, marry the house, and the spread was really out of control, 7.6%. So I'll take our 6.67%. That is a full percentage lower. Can you guys imagine 7.6% right now? No, thank you. And it's not going to get there either. It's not going to get there. So now we're going to talk about the housing market. Housing market has 5 distinct seasons. Spring is number 1. Number 2 is summer. Then we have fall and winter. And then we have the holidays, slowest season. I said middle of November to the middle of January. We're in spring. Supply rises and peaks. And gosh, I got to change the slide because supply does not peak during spring. So ignore that. Supply rises. Ignore peaks. This is from, I took this and forget to update this because that's what it does in Maricopa. I was just in Maricopa. So I took this as my shell for it. So sorry, the supply continues to go up during spring and continues to go up in the summer, and it peaks during the summer. So spring, it continues to go up, and demand rises slightly and peaks. So that's the one that peaks. It peaks during the spring, but yet inventory keeps on going up because May is the #1 month for homes coming on the market. June's pretty hot and heavy too, because people think, yeah, June's good month. Demand's already peaked, and it'll stay elevated. It's just the inventory will continue to grow. And so we're going to talk about housing inventory. This is called perspective, which is all the doomers and everybody out there that pretend to think that they know a lot about analytics know nothing about perspective. And this is what this shows you what the inventory has done over time. And this goes back to 2022 National Association of Realtors. And you can kind of see which directions it's going. It's going up. Matter of fact, they're talking about how in some markets we have more homes on the market than 2019. They say, who cares? We're not going to crash. You need to have the proper perspective. This actually series goes all the way back to 1982. Thank you for your lack of perspective and not knowing what the chart looks like, because that same white arrow is right here. Do you guys see? Still not enough homes. You guys feel like there's a lot of homes because you feel like you're competing against a lot of sellers, but there still are not that many sellers. It's just that demand's that low. That's really what it is. Demand's that low. So you need 3 ingredients. I've talked about this before. In order for prices to plunge, you need low demand. We have low demand. But you need all 3 ingredients. We're missing the other 2. The other one is you need a supply glut. We don't have a supply glut. You need way too much of a good. We don't have that many houses. There are not 4 houses on every street like there was during the Great Recession. It's just not there. You're lucky if you have 1 house on the street, because that's how few homes there really are in the marketplace. There was one that sold on my, not even on my street, but on the street over. I was surprised to see, I have not seen a listing in 2 years in my area. So that's a supply glut. That's in 2006, we had 4 million homes on the market, 4 million in 07, 4 million in 08. So people go, you didn't even see the Great Recession coming. They don't even know who I am. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was complaining about it in 06. I was actually complaining about it in 05. Fall of 05 is when the training wheels came off the bike, and we didn't know how to ride the bike at that point. And it was we were going to fall over. And this you could see over here, that's supply scarcity. We have 1,390,000 homes on the market right now. And we'll peak over the summer. That's not a lot of time. So 1,390,000, you can see we are making our way up to 2020 levels, but we're still not even up to 2019 levels. Some markets are, but who cares? What are you comparing it to? So that's, there's just not enough homes. 1,390,000 versus 4 million. Do the math. That's way more. And so this, I've been stalking this family for a long time. You guys have seen them before, this family before. My story has totally changed. They got married in 2015. They bought a small little patio home. Then they started filling it with babies, a whole bunch. See, 3 babies, right? And then they refinanced during COVID. They already could afford that payment, but now they got this, oh my gosh, they're in the 2s. They feel so good. They have all this extra discretionary income because not only that, their incomes have gone up 25% since 2019. So they're stoked. They've got higher incomes, their payments super low, so they're doing fun things. They're going to Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. They're going to watch the ball drop. They're going skiing. They're going to Hawaii. They're doing so many fun things. But the problem is their kids are starting to get bigger, and I know they get even bigger than this. And their place is small. It's a patio home, and now they're doing everything on the porch. And so after a while, they're going to get to the point where these kids are too big, lots of fun traveling. It is time to go buy something. But for now, they're hunkering down until it gets old. And there's a lot of people that say they're locked in. No, they're not. They could afford a higher payment, and they're making 25% more. They just don't want to flush all their cash on a monthly basis currently, but it gets to a point where they decide, I'm going to do it anyways. Now, in the United States, 40% of all homes across the U.S. are owned free and clear. In California, it's 31%. Now, I have data through the 4th quarter of 2025 now from the National Mortgage Database. And this is what, if there's 31%, 69% have a loan. And here it is. In California, 76% through the 4th quarter of last year have an interest rate at 5% or lower. 76%. We're way higher than the other markets I do and the United States national average because we require loans. So we like our low loans and low interest rates. And 61% have an interest rate at 4% or lower. And 28% have an interest rate at 3% or lower. It's 20% across the United States. We're at 28%. Who in this room has an interest rate at 3% or lower? A few different hands. Thank you. Vulnerable moment. Let's see if I can get this vulnerable moment. If you just place your hand in the air, are you thinking about moving in the next couple of years? If you are, raise your hand. Okay, this is a smaller room. I did it in Vegas a couple days ago, and I had several hands go up. There's a lot of people who are doing it. They're thinking, okay, yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, well, that's different. No, you're not selling your house. I'm saying selling your house. You're just pulling out equity in order to do that. That's a different story completely. Because there's a lot of people that are tired of waiting. And I get more and more people that will actually place their hand in the air. I just told you guys, it's 45 months ago, the last time we were in the fives. If they're waiting for rates to go in the fives, they're going to wait forever. I would want another 45 months. Okay, it's 90 months. You guys know that 90 months is a long time. So that little family, those kids will be really big. And that house is going to feel, that patio home, smaller and smaller. So they're just tired of waiting. A lot of people are. And when I say that, you know what the people say that put up their hand? Yes, tired of waiting. That family bought in 2015. That is 11 years later. How long do they have to wait? Because their family's getting bigger. There comes a point where they're going to do something. And I could see it in the numbers. 2023, nothing came on because we were saying date the rate, marry the house, and all homeowners thought the same thing. Rates would come down. It didn't. So nobody came on the market in 2023. That's the 3-year average prior to the pandemic, 2017, 18, and 19. And then the purple line was 2024. More homes came on the market, and we started to build an inventory. 2025, way more homes started coming on the market. Still not as many as the 3-year average prior to the pandemic, but way more than 2024, 2023, and we built an inventory. So you're wondering why it's sluggish, and you might have a homeowner that can't sell, and then it doesn't sell. It's because of that. There's a lot of competition because demand isn't changing. The number of homes coming on the market is. Until this year. Because you could see that I thought there would be even more and it would go right above this, and it didn't happen. And it's not just here, it's across the United States. So as a result, we have 365 fewer homes January through April. Not a lot, but we're not adding extra homes on the market. And we have 16% more than 2024, almost 1,500 extra for sale signs, sellers that came on the market first 4 months. Compared to 2023, 2,832 more signs. We placed nothing, that just shows you we placed nothing on the market in 2023. And then compared to the 3-year average, we're missing 3,530. We're actually 25% below so far, first 4 months of the year. And this tells you, this is interesting. In 2025, we were up 64% compared to the prior year, the number of homes pulled off the market. And then this year, it's up 22% compared to 2025. And this is the first 4 months. What does this tell me? You guys have sellers that don't really have to sell. And that's the third ingredient that you need. In order for prices to come down, you have to have people that have to sell. And we don't. We don't have enough. We have some, but very few. There are the D's, divorce, death, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of D's. I forgot them. I wrote them down once and did them for a podcast thing, and my brain doesn't remember that's all the D's. But there are D's, a whole bunch of them that they have to sell, and there's not enough people out there that meet those requirements, so they don't really have to sell. They're almost like luxury sellers where they don't really have to sell. And it feels like everybody's like that because we're all what? We're all luxury sellers compared to the rest of the country, right? Aren't we? We are. So that's the way they're all behaving, but they're behaving like this in all markets. A lot of homes pulled off the market so far this year. This is the active listing inventory. I love this one because it goes back in time. It kind of mirrors the National Association of Realtors one where there were 4 million homes on the market. We had 18,000 homes on the market because this is where we are right now. Wow, that's pretty, we're over 4,000. Remember 18,000, 4,370. You see the difference? That's that supply and demand thing. When you have 18,000, it goes like this, boom. and values plunge and crash because they were all short sales foreclosures. They were distressed sellers that were in pickles. They had to sell. That's not what we have today. And in the last 2 weeks, it went up 2%. May 7th was when this was. I'll give you an update for today because we're actually going to update it tonight. And that was up 101 homes in 2 weeks. Last year, we were at 4,468. That's 4% higher. We actually crossed underneath of last year, so our inventory levels are actually less. And that's happening across the US also. The inventory levels are actually, everybody thought that inventory levels would be a little bit higher, but they weren't. I thought that if we had a race between 6 and 6.5, that this would happen, and it's happening. But now I'm a little concerned with 6 3/4. This might start to go the other direction, up. We'll have to see. 3-year average, 5,230. That's all the way up there. See how many homes? That's what the average was prior to the pandemic. So we're missing a lot of homes. Almost 2,000 extra homes are typically on the market at this time. And today we're at 4,425. Went up 3% since May 7th. So where are we going from here? It's going to go like this. It's going to be very close. It's not going to continue to be flat. It's going to be very close to last year's level, just slightly below it. And we'll see where we peak. Typically, we peak between July and the end of August. And then we've had rates that were high in the fall. So we had peaks that were in like October and November. But last year was a year where we had rates that were lower in the second half of the year. And we peaked in July, which is a normal peak, that red line. And that's the way they're supposed to look, like that. You guys also see 2023, right? That blue one? That's not the way a hill looks. Do you see that? It went down and it was flat, and that's why we didn't build an inventory. But you can see how we built an inventory over the last few years by the number of homes coming on the market. Demand wasn't changing. We've had this low demand that has been unyielding, and it hasn't really broke out. It's kind of broke out recently, but it's going to go. We're going to put that genie back in the bottle because we have higher rates today. And it'll be very similar to last year. And I'll show you, it's pretty similar anyways. Now, this is like the gas pedal and the brake, or taking your foot off the gas pedal. When rates go down into the 5s, that's like pushing on that gas pedal. When rates start going up towards 7, it's like easing off that gas pedal. And you guys could see it. This is, by the way, I have to do this for you guys. This is what it takes. I had people in San Jose, the most expensive zip code in the nation, go $7,000 per month. And I go, what do you think that buys with 20% down, you knuckleheads? Because here it is, $1,315,000 of a house at 7%. That's $7,000 per month with 20% down. That's what it is, $7,000 per month. So where is it today? Here, $1,348,000. So you can buy more than you can. Last year we were over 7%. So we are showing last year's numbers when you're working with buyers, because right now it continues to be hotter than last year. But you guys could see just last week we were at 6.5. That's 1,383,000. Remember February? I said we were at 6%, 1,460,000 of a house versus 1,315,000. And then we were going to make our way down to 5 3/4, which would be $1.5 million of a house. You see, that's like pushing on the gas pedal, especially here in this high-cost area called Orange County. Super expensive. When in Vegas, they're looking at $450,000 for a house, not $1.3 million for a house. So at the beginning of the year, our housing market was on shaky ground. You didn't know it because we had the same demand year over year. So it didn't feel shaky to you, but we should have had more demand, but it didn't materialize. We had rates that were below 6.5%, and they were there since September 2nd. They didn't end until after we started the Iran conflict at the beginning of March. Did we finally end? But it was down there that whole entire time, and we should have had a boost in demand. We've seen it in the numbers in other time frames. But there was something that happened at the beginning of the year. It was fear. And fear can be debilitating. It shackles some of the buyers to saying, I'm not doing anything right now. I heard something's going to happen that I might not have a job. This AI scare at the beginning of the year was so stupid. It really was. Everybody's going, yeah, that's it. And everybody was fearing, a little fearful, and there's going to be no more white-collar jobs in Centrini. I was doing some more research on listening to stuff on the way here because they said something back right around the beginning of the year, start of February, if you remember. They're that firm in Wall Street that talked about the end of the world. That's it. There's going to be a lot of you unemployed, and we're going to have to give you units of money. And we no need for Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. And it's very dystopian. It's like a science fiction novel. I am a science fiction literature minor from UC San Diego. I love to read. And my favorite subgenre, science fiction. And this thing was, gosh, it was such a good science fiction novel that they wrote that tanked the market for the day. We lost like $300 billion that day because of a report that was written that was so dumb. But the good news is, I know the way that we all work. We did it during COVID, we do it on this. We have, oh my gosh, this shock of the market. And then after a little while, they just go, all right, I'm gonna go buy a house. I'm tired of talking about AI. Is everybody tired of talking about AI? We have saturation. We like to saturate. We did that in COVID, at the beginning of COVID, like death to all. Real estate market's going to plunge. And there was some serious stuff that happens. AI will disrupt things, but we're leaning into it. Everybody's going to lean into it and figure it out. We always do. This isn't the first time that we've had something major. We had the Industrial Revolution. There was a real problem with the steam engine. That really caused a problem. People thought there was going to be mass unemployment because of the steam engine in the 1880s. And then we had the light bulb, and we had cars, and then we had dial-up. I came in 1991, and then dial-up came on. I was going, yes, and everybody's going, this is dumb. I like my book. That comes out once a month for an MLS book, and then every 2 weeks you got an insert. How did you had to come to these meetings so that anybody could hear about your listing that just came on the market that nobody knows about because we don't even have a book. Then we had dial-up, and I'm going, yes, and it was supposed to end everything. And then we had World Wide Web. That was supposed to end everything, right? Remember the World Wide Web? Holy cow, we weren't supposed to be in here in this room. Only it did affect some industries, travel agencies, and different things like that got hit. There will be some hits to AI, but it's not going to replace everybody in this room. And there's not going to be a robot coming up here talking about the market and what to expect. What? It's so dumb. We need to get belly to belly and show that we have serious value. That's how we work as human beings. As a matter of fact, I cannot stand, like CVS just changed everything, so it's AI, and she reckon I'm having a conversation with this stupid person. I want to talk to a real person because I had a question about a prescription. So I'm getting off track, but anyways, that's how I feel. Now you guys know. So this is Orange County, so don't worry about it. 92% of everything we worry about doesn't come to fruition. That's a Penn State study. So stop worrying about it. And the other 8%, it's never as bad as what everybody thinks. So that's from Penn State. So, and this is Orange County demand. This is demand, and you guys can see we did a lot more demand. 2021 was awesome right here. That was good. 2020, second half was really high. 2021, awesome the whole year. 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. Not so awesome. And they look very, very similar. We had triplets. Guess what? Quadruplets now. So there you go. Now we have 4 years of very, very similar. We should have broke out. Now, if we had no Iran conflict, we would have done this, and right, we would have gone like this, and we would be someplace up here. This is where we'd be, and you could see because people are getting tired of it anyways, because recently it did this, and that was on May 7th. We went up 6%, up 94 pending sales, and this happened in all markets. It's all of a sudden that low interest rate thing, it kicked in, and we had a little bit of a bonanza. And this was 30 days prior of pending sales activity. So we actually did, even with a little bit higher rates, we still did quite well because we were still below 6.5 for a minute there. Last year, we were at 1,546, which is 8% less, 132 fewer pending sales. We're doing better than last year. 3-year average is 2,765. That's the green. That's how many pending sales we should be doing. So yes, we are taking a hit, which is why I want rates to come down so that we can all do more business and millennials and Gen Zs can go buy a house. That's what it's about. So I'm sick and tired of these rates. Now you know why I'm not a fan of politics, because they ruined our numbers. There was like 1 week where I didn't want to talk to anybody because I watched rates go, and I was going, that's it. Because I had people like texting me going, Stephen, you've been on your knees praying for 6% and it's here. And then the very next week we went into Iran, or that Saturday or whatever it was. So, oh, by the way, so over the last couple of weeks, it went up barely. but it's pretty much flat. With duration. I have said with duration. I said with duration. I don't want it there for a minute. We've done that many times before. No. My prayers are specific and they get loud. Matter of fact, AI was such a problem at the beginning of the year and we should have had higher that I started praying for rates in the 5s, which I said I wouldn't do because it would cause a bonanza. I needed it to get rid of everybody's fear about AI, but Iran instead is erasing the AI thing, and now we're worried about this. And once everybody talks about AI on the other side of this thing, it's not going to be the same as it was in January and February AI talk, because now we're sick of it. Sick of it because we've all played around in it, and some of AI is stupid. I've argued with AI. They don't know how to do proper math. How in the world did you come up with this? Oh, you mean you wanted this? Yeah, this is the answer. So yeah, that is exactly what I wanted. Don't understand you. So what do I have to ask you in order to get the right answer is what my thing was with AI. So this is where demand is going to go. You can see where demand is right now. It's kind of going to go follow near last year and the year before that right now. That's where it's going to be at. So very, very similar demand. What you've seen over the last few years is kind of what we're going to get. Same thing. Speed of the market, it's a little speedier because we actually have a few fewer homes on the market and we have a little bit more demand. So just those slight changes will create a change. And this is where we are right now. We talked about expected market time, but this is where we are currently. The red line was last year. Now, don't expect this thing to continue to go down. It's not, because I've already done little snapshots of it and all that. It's not. May 7th, we were at 77 days. That's down 3. 77 sounds like a long time, but I did that on purpose because I used to do months, and months didn't tell you anything. Once I converted to days, people freaked out. Because 100 days, yeah, a little over 3 months, you weirdo, that's not long. That's not long in the grand scheme of things. So 77 days. And if you look at last year, we were at 87 days. So we are faster than we were last year at this time. And it was continuing to go up right now. Actually, it went down a little bit, then it went up. The 3-year average is 68 days. So we're not as fast as where we were prior to the pandemic. So it feels slower than where we were prior to the pandemic. True speed. And then today we're at 79 days, starting to go up. And because that's what it does. Where it will go, it typically peaks between right around there, the middle of February to the kind of the end of April is where the expected market time is the best. Peaks means it's actually the lowest level. That means you're the fastest. That means it's the best. And this is about where it is. You can see going back in time, and this is where it is for, but it's also very fast here. And you guys are right. It's right around Super Bowl. You're right, because there's not a lot of homes on the market and demand picks up really fast. So where are we going from here? It's going to continue to go up. So from week to week, it's going to slow down, just so you guys know what to expect. So the market feels very, some feels sluggish. A lot of the market feels very balanced because buyers feel like it's unaffordable. So they're pulling back, and homeowners go, I don't really have to sell. So they're pulling back. And so that creates this balance, but you have to be priced right. And then a lot of the market feels very hot. You guys know what this is. I love talking about this because buyers, this is that wow factor or showcase home factor. You know, when buyers are waiting for new stuff to come on, they're looking at everything that comes on. They look at every single virtual tour, the pictures, all the information, every nuanced word that you put together, and then they look at the price. And they say, wow, I want to see that property. And you go show them the property the next day. And then they go through it and they go, wow, I want to make an offer. This is where I came up with wow properties that my wife didn't like. So that is a wow property. The problem with wow properties is there are 4 other buyers that said wow and did the same thing because they've been waiting too. And that thing came on, they looked at it, wow, and they went through it and they write an offer scenario, 4 other buyers, so 5, 1 seller. And that's that whole supply and demand thing. If you have 1 and 5, what's that? Who's that favor? The seller, right? So that's how we have to explain it to him. And then you have to explain to him, I'm sorry, you have to go above the asking price. What do you mean I have to go above the asking price? I'm not going above the asking price. Sorry, no wow properties for you. Well, I'm not even going at the asking price. No semi-wow properties either. No semi-wow or wow properties. You have to get the stuff that's dingy, that's been sitting there, that has dog hair and everything else, that smells when you're going up they didn't do anything. You saw those pictures. That's what they look like. You have to actually take out the mirrors and the horse and everything else. So you guys know what it's like. And this is the difference between, and they're going to have to go above the ask price in order to get those. And then we just do that whole thing about, you have the Starbucks app. Yes, I do. How much it goes up once a month. I get recharged because I go to Starbucks a lot. It's $25. And you go, okay, well, why don't you take this Starbucks app off and instead go buy yourself a house and go a few $1,000s above the asking price and actually secure yourself a home rather than get coffee at Starbucks. I mean, it's good, but it's not as good as that house that you're going to be in, sipping your coffee that you made. So anyways, this is the number of attached and detached, and you can see the market time is different. The number of available homes, the demand, the expected market time, what was it, 2 weeks ago and all. And this is attached and detached. Attached is currently at 88, detached is at 70. There's a big difference. The chasm difference is because of how expensive condos are. It used to be condos were better slightly than detached because it's stepping stone. It's not anymore because of how expensive HOA dues are. It's how expensive, and litigation and special assessments and the balcony certification, and just a lot of condos have to go non-QM, and they have to have a certain amount of reserves. That's going up in January of 2027, by the way. So even more condos will not be able to get Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. What's that? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it does go up. It's higher. Yeah, so it's 1 million condos across the United States right now, and that's going to go up considerably. So hopefully they're preparing. Probably not. Yeah, special assessments, all that stuff. And this is every single city, the number of homes, again, demand, expected market time. What was expected market time 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago? There you go. That's Fountain Valley. Don't expect you to look at it. Instead, I'm going to blow it up and tell you. Last year, we were at 59 days. This year, it's at 37. Anything below 40 is insane. Fountain Valley is always my insane city. It's insane. It's people don't sell their homes and demand goes up too much. And 37 is, I'm not happy with anything in the 30s. Huntington Beach was at 105 last year. It's at 87 this year. Westminster was at 54 last year. It's at 57 this year. Santa Ana was at 90 last year. It's 90 this year. Costa Mesa 48 last year. 76 this year. Garden Grove 50 last year. There's another one of those 30s. 37. Tustin 61 last year. 65 this year. Orange 90 last year. 47. I don't even like 40s, but definitely not the 30s. And then Irvine was 139 last year, 134 this year. How about Seal Beach? 43 last year, 59 this year. So there you go. You guys need to know what's the difference in the city that you're in. There is a difference. A lot of it has to do with price, and there's a whole bunch of other things that go into that. Like Fountain Valley, not enough homes come on the market, period. It's been like that forever. It has the lowest turnover rate in the county is Fountain Valley. So there you go. And really quick, United States, very healthy housing stock. I told you 40% of everybody owns their homes free and clear. On the bottom left-hand side, it says 33% owned their home free and clear in 2010. So a lot of people own their homes free and clear. And then in California, this is also taken from the National Mortgage Database, 85% have at least 40% equity in their house. 85%. And then another 6%, 6.2%, have at least between 60 and 70. So it's now 30% is between, that's 91. 91% have at least 30% equity. And another 4.3% between 71 and 80. So now you're at 95% have at least 20% equity. Does that sound like any kind of a disaster? No. And then we've been buying houses on good credit. Back here was bad credit. Yellow down is not as favorable. Pink and red are the issue. You can see red is less than 620. And then since Dodd-Frank in 2010 pretty much erased almost all red. It's just really slightly. It would be FHA. And this is where we are right now. A lot of aqua. Aqua is 760 plus. We've been building this housing stock on aqua properties, which means very strong credit scores, very strong jobs. This market's not going anywhere. And then this is the number of adjustable rate mortgages taken. See, I can go toe to toe with anybody that says that we're going to have a housing crash. I already told you the ingredients, but you also have these ingredients, adjustable rate mortgages. Almost 40% of everything that was originated was adjustable, and it adjusted on a monthly basis. That is ridiculous. Adjusting on a monthly basis. Remember that? There's teaser rates. You qualified in the teaser rate, and then it adjusted. They couldn't afford their home. People got in pickles, and they were tagged to different indexes like LIBOR and things like that. So, and they would go up very, very rapidly. They couldn't afford the payment. They had to sell. They got in what we refer to as a pickle. The people that have to sell, we don't have those. So there you go. Now we're gonna get into luxury real quick. Luxury is 2.5 million plus, top 10% of the market in all of Orange County. Inventory is at 987. That's down 16% compared to last year. Demand's at 199. That's up 11% compared to last year. The expected market time's at 149 this year versus 196 last year. Good to know. You need to know your different price ranges and levels. And as a matter of fact, as far as price ranges and levels are concerned, here we are. What's the hottest range? No shock, between 750 and 1 million. Actually, 1.25 to 1.5 million is hotter. But at 750 to 1.5 million is hot. Hot. So you know, and then look at where it was last year. It's a lot hotter now than it was last year at this time. But if you've got a $7 million property, congratulations. But it's a 281-day expected market time. Why? Because there are not that many buyers and there's a lot of sellers competing against each other. That's it. That's how it works. So they need to know the price. Very, very important. And this is Orange County luxury closed sales year over year. We sold, it's down 3%, down 22 closed sales so far this year. All price ranges is down 1%, down 89. So we're actually doing more in the lower ranges than we are in luxury. And so market overview really quick. This is a sales report. So you get a report that comes out every other week. You get a closed sales report once a month. It comes at the end of each month. And we get a lease report that comes out once a month. So these are all emailed to you. And the Orange County closed versus last price breakdown, get this to your buyers that said, I'm not going above the asking price. Or I'm not selling at the ask, or I'm not buying at the asking price. Get that one. We also do it by original list price. Why? For your sellers, so they know how people behave. A lot of them had to reduce. In April, 48% sold below the list price, which means 52% sold at or above. This is all closed sales. So 18% sold at, and 34%, a third. So WOW properties account for a third. They sell really fast. And I'll show it is really fast, just so you know. And this is Zillow research data. We are always lumped with LA, except Zillow keeps it separately. And I like Zillow for their data. Their data, I used to poke holes at it. It's really accurate. It just sometimes doesn't get a property right. But aggregately, their errors are within our error coefficient. It's where it needs to be. Their error is really, really low. And I used to poke fun at them all the time. I wrote reports about it, but I can't anymore. Go to Zillow research data, Google that, it's free. And take advantage of Zillow. Because you can actually do it by zip code. And you know when your client says, what has my property done since 2019? You can tell them. Because it will give you the zip code and what values have done on a month-to-month basis, year over year, since the year 2000. That's good to know. Way better than medians. Have you tried medians? It's like this. It's like an EKG. That's not accurate. This is accurate. As accurate as, you don't want to say it's not accurate, it is. So, and then you give them this and say, this is powered by Zillow. And they go, yeah, I've been all over Zillow. You will be empowered. You can actually download it, do it by county or by zip code, and then stick that thing into chat and ask it some questions if you don't know how to do Excel. So, and this is where we are right now. It's down 0.8, it's up 0.8% year over year, about up 1%. And that's through April. And it went up 0.1% month over month. Each one of these is on a monthly basis. You can see where it went down. This was 2022, second half. And it went down over here towards the 2025 until we got to around September. It started to go higher. Why? Because we had rates that went below 6.5% and fueled prices going up for the second half of the year because we were above 7% in April and May. And this is just a supply and demand thing. Demand is not changing. Supply, it's very, very similar to last year. All of a sudden we had interest rates that were in the fives. What happens to demand? Boom. It's that simple. So I don't know what people are waiting for. They're waiting for a crash. How do you get a crash? Well, we have to have less of this. Well, we already have low demand. That's not changing. Or you have to have a ton of inventory. Where are you going to get your ton of inventory from? Not going to happen. So we're not going to have this crash. Instead, once rates come down, it's going to start to go this way towards sellers. So get in when it's easier, which would be now. And price things right. It's called precision pricing. We do not want to end up overpriced. Anybody have an overpriced listing in here right now? Thank you for raising your hand. That's vulnerable right there. She went like this. Really, I saw it too. Oh, ooh. Anybody else? Come on. No one else has an overpriced listing. Where is it? He in the corner. He has like 16 listings, doesn't he? He's like looking at it right now. Man, this one's overpriced. You have an overpriced property, don't you? One? Oh, whatever. Not overpriced. But 34% of everything on the market has reduced the asking price at least once. Did you reduce the asking price to get there?
In one of them.
Okay, so let me tell you what happens when you reduce the asking price. You need to bring this to your builder or whatever your this flipper. Because here's what happens when you reduce the asking price. So this has to do with you want to take care of wow right now. They're waiting for it to come on. Now, if they have to reduce it, not as wow. And this, I'm going to do it for $1 million. This is April. 78% of everything didn't reduce the asking price. They got 100% is the sales to last price ratio. I did it with all of them, and the median is 100%, which means that $1 million property got $1 million. And median time on the market, 9 days. Well, that's appealing to a flipper for sure. How about this one? Now they had to reduce it between 1% and 4%. That was 12% of everything that closed. They got 98.3%. And this is where they started. They had to get to here, and they got 98.3. So $1 million, they got 983,000. How much cash did they just flush? $17,000. And they're in the market for 46 days. Why did they flush that? You need to have that discussion with them. That's why I put that thing together. You only get one shot at a first impression. You better not pad it. You better not test the market. Do it right. And you're going to take care of wow, a lot of activity. You get less activity when you reduce the asking price. 5% or more reduction, 10% of all properties in April, 97.7. That's 977,000. You flushed tremendous amount of cash. 85 days on the market. And this is just the success stories. That's it. And this happens all the time, every single month, all different prices. What does that tell you? Price your properties right, for Pete's sake. I'm going to do a housing debrief. I'm going to probably do it the rest of today. And so go to reports on housing. That's where my housing debriefs are. It's just me talking about segment of the marketplace. And then this is Brennan. He drills me with questions. Let's Talk Housing. It's a podcast. He said we need to start. And I go, we're not doing a podcast. 2.5 years later, it'll actually be 3 years in July that we will have done a podcast, and every other week. And it's been a lot of fun doing that. So I don't even see the questions before I sit down, and it's usually all the knucklehead articles that are across the United States, that clickbait stuff that everybody clicks on. I get to refute the stuff, and I don't even have to look at it to know how dumb everything is. So I just start talking about it, and then I'll read it really quick because sometimes I have to bring in actual data to show it. So I spend about 10 minutes looking at it before we start. And then if you're a subscriber, you get a weekly text message, even in between reports, talking about the difference between supply, demand, and the expected market time. And there's a URL for you to click on so you can have a neat piece like this to throw up on social media. If you're not getting this and you're a subscriber, give me your card. I'll make sure you get it. And then that sold report told you how important it is that you look at that report. It comes out once a month. For both buyers and sellers, they'll both eat it up. And then we have a lease report. Why do we have a lease report? Because now a lot of people are not being successful and they don't want to sell their homes for, they just don't want to do it because they're not getting their price. They lease out their houses. So we need to know about the lease market too. And then coming soon, Stevenomics 101. I am coming up with my own educational thing. They'll be shorter. I will keep it short. I know my videos are 20 to 25 minutes long. I will keep it less than 10 minutes talking about something that educates people. You can go back and it won't change. So that's coming. And then Nerd Lab HQ. My kids helped come up with it. My wife helped come up with this. I didn't come up with it. Nerd Lab HQ is going to be a login site for you to get information on Huntington Beach, on Garden Grove, and more information so you can pull charts and things like that. That's coming in the next 6 weeks. We're working on it right now. So it'll be beta and all that stuff shortly. So it's coming, Nerd Lab HQ. So another perk, it's not even changing the price. Price remains the same. Reportsonhousing.com, that's where you go to subscribe. They come out. This is pricing for success. Same thing as precision pricing. It's net less. I repeat that. It's twice a year that I do that one. Comes out every 2 weeks, the reports, they're emailed out to you. There are a bunch of links for you to repurpose. There's a video for you to watch to repurpose, a bunch of different ways. There's Microsoft Word, so you can add your logo and all that stuff if you want to. And it's $20 per month or $200 per year, and we keep on adding value. And the first month is free if you sign up today. Does anybody want to sign up that's not a subscriber in this room? At least invest in your business, and on day 29, cancel it. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't do anything. Pierce on my team does it, but that's what he's paid to do. So he can cancel you.